Yeah, it's a great question, and look, I'm part of the Water Employment Confederation, which is a 50 recruitment and staffing agency federations around the globe, and three of the core members, corporate members of that group, Randstad, Deco Group, and Manpower Group, worked with McKinsey about a month ago to come up with a new program called Returning Back to Work Safely in the New Normal. Long name, but hopefully not a long project. But the reality is that project is going to be focusing upon how do we share the way in which we will return to work, because I think many are now looking, and I was on a webinar last night with India, Indonesia, New Zealand as well, and everyone's focusing on New Zealand at the moment, trying to understand what are some of the issues that they're actually facing in New Zealand that we can learn from. So we want to take from Korea and Europe and otherwise. So I don't have the answers, but what I do know is that we need to be sharing a lot of the challenges and the solutions. From speaking to our manager in New Zealand, what we're seeing is a great deal of respect to actually not put pressure on people to return, and to really go back to looking at what are the inherent requirements of the role. And obviously we have to lay over the top, like Nick's indicated, some of these what I'd call traditional legislative models, and can they perform the inherent requirements of the job and without focusing upon I guess undermining their safety. The reality is that we're seeing more and more businesses actually saying, well, let's not just go back to the way in which we did it previously. The difficulty with that, though, is that we still have the multi PCBU model when it comes to the model work health and safety law. We have the obligation in that regard to consult, to coordinate, to communicate, and I think that's just going to be tested more and more. So look, in many ways, I think some of them, and I think Nat, you mentioned this earlier, some of the bigger issues are going to be around the almost the pressure that's being applied in this sort of group thing that because others are coming back to work, I have to actually return back to work. I know in our scenario, we went out to our staff yesterday and pretty much everyone's happy to stay at home at this point in time, which, I'm happy to respect that. There will be some examinations we need to do as to what are the physical roles that need to be performed, but I'm not sure that the risks are as great as we all think they might, certainly not in that sort of white-collar corporate environment. That's my view.